Mafia didn't just kill Saints Row, they
Yep.
crucified it on a rainbow flag.
Welcome, acolytes. Today I'm reacting to Who Killed Masculinity in Video Games from Any Pants Gaming for, well, one reason only, and that's because I actually seen that Esmond reacted to it and I was like, this sounds too interesting to see his reaction, so I'm not gonna watch it. Or watch this first and after that his reaction to actually see what he thinks about it. But at the end, let's just look at it. Let's see what he has to say about it. And by the way, I'm already gonna say it just because, so we don't have any confusion. I agree with him. Most of the masculine traits were just deleted or are getting deleted step by step for some freaking reason. And it's not just the big buff freaking guys that go around like a tank. Yes, that's part of it. That's not all masculinity. It's also the behavior. The behavior is the most important part because, yes, you can be masculine without looking like a freaking giant freak like Game of Wars, a freaking mountain of steroids. If you just act the part, that's all that the entire thing actually needs. But at the end of the day, let's just see what he has to say about it, and if he agrees with me, let's start.
It has slowly been drained from modern video games. I was looking at recent staff photos of Ubisoft and Halo Infinite developers, and it's also...
Yeah. Maybe one or two understand masculinity, but as it is with most men don't understand femininity. So, yeah. But they at least try. And if you want proof of that, just look at older games. Even if you don't have a freaking perfect reflection of femininity, you at least have a good try at the end. And these days, those people don't even try to look at masculine traits and just reflect them. Nah, they're just like, oh, I think that's sexy, so let's just get it in.
starting to make sense. It's a bunch of fat white liberal women. And white...
I mean, they are not fat. Come on. They are, like, respect where respect is due. They keep their shape. They keep in shape at least. Most of them. And yes, but I will agree that it's still not the way to go if you want to reflect masculinity in a certain way. Or at least do what you have to do with the thing, because those people definitively don't know it. And yes, there are liberal women that actually do this, and they are fucking freaks that don't know what they do. Most of them. Damn it.
White liberal women have no interest in masculine, manly, male characters.
Oh, they have. Oh, they have. Believe you me, they have. Every or 99.99% of women actually have interest in masculine men. They are just freaking... Their belief system just doesn't allow it. And after a while, they actually start bitch. If you look in the forums or Reddit or even just hear YouTube on some women, every single one of them, every single fucking one of them is like, hey, where are the masculine men? Why aren't we getting this and this? Why aren't we... Even if they create them themselves, they still bitch about it. Why we're not getting masculine men? Even though they themselves did it. So yeah, they want it. They just won't admit it because their belief system doesn't allow them.
They wouldn't even know how to write one if they tried. This is why Rockstar, a company founded by men that at least in 2018 was still mostly run by men, created the magnum opus Red Dead Redemption 2, a game with a manly, well-written main protagonist, Arthur Morgan. If you want to see the seismic shift away from masculine characters, honestly, all you need to do is play a few games from 2006, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Consider how many masculine military games came out in the 2000s.
Yep. And yes, as I said, it's not just a trait. This is what I meant with a freaking big steroid pump tank. That's not the only way of presenting masculinity, but it's a fucking good way of actually presenting it. Because that's one step you can do to actually act masculine. And no, you don't have to be a freaking steroid-driven monster for that.
Games came out in the 2000s. Medal of Honor, Call of Duty, Brothers in Arms, Gears of War, Operation Flashpoint, Rainbow Six, Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell. All of these games were starring men and had themes like brotherhood, duty, sacrifice, honor. Almost all of these franchises have either been killed off.
There you see sacrifice, duty, honor. Those are the masculine traits most people look for. Not being a giant meat hulk. Those are the traits we look for. Now you might say it's not true, but it is. But it is. Just think about it. Who would you prefer to follow? A meat hulk, or someone who represents those things? And it doesn't matter if it's a meat hulk at that point, or a normal-looking human being. You will follow those people. You will. If somebody represents honor and duty, and a certain degree of loyalty, you will freaking follow them to hell.
Turned into multiplayer games, or went woke. I often wonder why so few modern games appeal to me. And I think another big reason is this. Everything is just so gay now. True. I won't disagree with him, yes. Compare the games I just mentioned to the modern trash we have to deal with in Overwatch and Apex. Almost every character in these new games is either gay, lesbian, bisexual, trans, or something else.
Or they look like a twink. Or a femboy. Because even look at this. Look at this. This doesn't look masculine. This looks totally feminine.
Like, what happened to a masculine dude with a hot chick on his arm? I love the idea of Xbox Game Pass, but I swear every time I open it up and look for new games, there's just so many games that look gay now. I refuse to play another cutesy 2D platformer or a game with a cutesy art style by some indie developer anymore. I'm just done with these games. If you want my 100% real thoughts on this, I just think the entire video game industry has gone woke and gay, and almost nothing they are making appeals to me in any way anymore. So this is why I mostly play 20-year-old games on my channel, because they...
Yeah, and that's fair enough, by the way. I understand that. Because, well, I mean, I even prefer playing freaking Overlord, even if it's... Okay, I love Overlord, by the way, so even if it's a bad game, well, not mid game, it's still fucking fun. You just play a freaking hunk of a man. Not even two, like, he's not a Hulk. He's just, he's muscular. And he's just like a freaking pedas with good humor. I love it.
They were just better. I was recently reading an insider interview about what went down at Volition Studios.
Yeah, and again, look. The body itself wouldn't be that bad. That's okay. But the movement, how he styles himself. If this was a gay man, that's fine. But if you want actually a masculine man, nah, never.
As with the disastrous Saints Row reboot from an inside source. This source said that the LGBTQ community within the company was actually pretty small, but they are the loudest and the most annoying, and the company leadership chose to promote these people into key roles. And that's how you get the absolute dumpster fire of a game that was Saints Row 2020.
And I'm going to be honest, this is an insult to gay people. Those two guys are a freaking insult. Look at them. They look like a parody of someone who actually wants to portray gay people as bad. And they are doing a really good job as a freaking parody of them. Because most gay people don't dress like this. They just don't. It's not an everyday freaking thing.
Get the absolute dumpster fire of a game that
for
was
fuck's
Saints
sake,
Row
really.
2020.
Especially this dork. That's fine if you're going to school and you're forced to wear this. But if you have the freedom to choose for yourself? Nah.
Too. I think what you have at a lot of these game studios is about 80% of the staff is probably just hetero dudes trying to do their job.
Yep.
But they're afraid of speaking up or saying...
Yep, that's true. That's true. Yes, I 100% agree. Because even I had a shock moment after I got the first wave of negativity on my channel, the very first one. After that, I was like, nah, fuck it. It's done. And of course, I'm saying it in an easy way because my job doesn't depend on it and people just don't know who I am. So that's irrelevant. So even if YouTube never goes off, I still have a job. So I am safe in this regard. But still, this is true. This is just true. Yeah. It's disgusting, by the way. It's like with the church. It's like with the church. It's just some bullies go up, get on the ladder, and then just do the things they do. I hate it.
What they actually think, and then you have the LGBTQ folks making decisions about what kind of game to...
Correct. And no, I am not forcing LGBT in the same group as gay people, because you don't have to be in the group to be gay. The group is a group. Gay people are gay people. Those are two different things.
To make. And everything just ends up being safe and soft and sensitive because, oh, we can't hurt anybody's feelings.
Feminine.
So, of course, you get these shitty dumpster fire video games that nobody wants to play.
Yeah, but were you in those freaking circles around? Like, I just wanted to see how good they represent themselves. And for fuck's sake, it's like League of Legends and Dota toxicity levels. It's insane. I really, honestly was baffled after I was like for a weekend, and they were just toxic as fuck. The toxicity was brutal. And this is a group who actually wants to, or a belief system that presumably shows love and compassion. Nah.
After reading a lot of insider interviews with these developers, this is my sense of what has been happening. I also feel like there's this kind of unholy alliance right now between games journalists, white liberal women at game studios, and the LGBTQ community at game studios. And they all seem to be united around one thing. They actually hate gamers.
Yep. They hate the people they sell to. How the fuck? They are literally destroying gaming from in it itself just to see their belief system flourish. F them. And I mean it. F them hard.
And who are gamers overwhelmingly? Well, heterosexual dudes like us, of course. This recent Reddit thread was written by an actual game developer and made me realize this. It reads, headline,
"Am I allowed to say this? I kinda hate gamers. I'm a professional game designer and I'm worried that I'm starting to hate gamers. Watching the gaming events on YouTube last month with the chat on was extremely disheartening experience. Every time a character that wasn't a cis-het white man appeared on screen, the chats would fill with messages calling the game woke or complaining about DEI.
Yeah, and you know why? Because most of the time, it's not always, but most of the time, if you see this, what happened? With high probability, what happened is they actually took out energy. They took out the energy of them for some reason and put it in giving a character just being gay. Without any real story, without any real thing to say, nothing. The only personality this character with a high probability has is he's gay. And that's all. That's not a character. That's a freaking parody of something. And it's not even a good parody.
Every game that wasn't a shooter...
And that's why people are pissed if they see it. And I totally understand it. And why do I understand it? Because I am actually not a freak. I try to think like the other person thinks.
Or a hyper-casual competitive online game garnered zzz and boring comments. I've seen people implying that the MC in Fable trailers is ugly because it's a self-insert of some random level designer working at Playground whom they deemed not fuckable enough. I don't know, it's just the internet.
I mean, did you see that? And no, yes, I am joking right now. I don't care how the character looks. I only care about it when it's actually time to show the gameplay. And most of the time, if you have a self-insert gay character and things like that, the gameplay just suffers. And it suffers hard. And that's why I don't like you. I don't care if you're gay. I do not give a single fuck as long as the story and the gameplay is good. But yes, if you see that, most of the time, yeah, those things suffer.
Internet magnifying negative voices, I guess, doing what it does best. But it's making me real tired of gamers.
So at this point, it seems that games journalists and all of the liberal LGBT mafia that work at game studios actually hate their audience. And this is a comment I keep reading from you guys again and again. I swear they literally hate us. They seem to be dead set on giving their audience exactly what we don't want. How long is your business going to be open if you're dead set on not giving the customer what they want? This is why when skanks like Alyssa Mercante are crying about Kotaku shutting down and losing their jobs, and game studios are going under because they were associated with Sweet Baby Inc., I just laugh. Let them burn. Let all these companies burn who don't know how to give the audience. The wonderful irony in all this is that...
Let them burn. And you might not like it because you lose your favorite game. But just let it be. It's fine. Life goes on. Believe me. Just go on. Move on. It's fine. Sometimes things you like die. And you know what? It's okay. At the end of the day, it's okay. That's just nature taking its way. And I know a lot of people don't like it, but sorry, it is what it is. And you either see the thing you love decay and transform in something bad, or you just let it die and go graciously. Sometimes that's just how the world works.
That it's the very games that the woke cancel mob has tried to cancel that seem to do the best. Remember Hogwarts Legacy? Men who dress in women's clothes tried to get it canceled.
I do. I freaking do. And I abhorrently hate it. I hated this thing. It was so toxic. People freaking just... they just pretended to be some kind of a good person. And just bullied people into quitting it. Fuck every single one of you who actually participated in it. Disgusting.
Instead, the game sold 25 million copies. Oops. Remember Elden Ring? Remember how the woke mob tried to accuse FromSoft games of having, quote, problematic depictions of women?
Yeah.
Oops. Sold 25 million copies. At this point, making an offensive game seems to guarantee that game's success. We could talk about Stellar Blade pissing off all of the liberal progressives.
Stellar Blade wasn't that big of a success.
And yet everybody went out and bought it. Okay, so in the rest of this video...
If I remember correctly, wait, let me actually see. Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade Xion. Stellar... Explodable storage. Did I just Stellar Blade video game Steam? Is it on Steam? Is it even on Steam? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, let's see. Sold copies. 1 million copies. Well, I think that's a success. 1 million copies sold. And they fucked up, by the way. At some point, they fucked up. Because they actually didn't make the main character as sexy as the main character was. Because it's an Asian woman. That's why.
I want to give you 4 examples of a game or game series going from masculine to feminine or gay, and it basically either killed or ruined the franchise. Number 1, Ubisoft and Red Storm Entertainment. So Red Storm Entertainment was a video game company founded by the legendary Tom Clancy to make Tom Clancy video games. He sold the company to Ubisoft in the year 2000, and Ubisoft in the 2000s actually had some balls and made some of the manliest games you've ever seen. There were the Splinter Cell games, the Ghost Recon games, the Rainbow Six games, and the Far Cry games. All of these games pretty much feature exclusively men, and these IPs in the 2000s had so much testosterone, just a single glance from a woman in their direction would get her pregnant. I mean, motherfucking Sam Fisher, come on. The dude is the ultimate Giga Chad. Scott Mitchell in Ghost Recon. Now, you pick your own character in Far Cry 2, but it's definitely a manly game that will put hair on your chest. So what is Red Storm Entertainment up to today?
I mean, he's not wrong. He's definitively not wrong. Yes, it will put hair on your chest instantly. It just grows like a motherfucker.
Well, I recently saw that Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland is being led by a man who dresses in women's clothes in his free time. Now look.
Everyone has his fetishes. Just keep the fetishes to yourself. This is a tip for life. If you have a fetish, that's fine. But keep it to yourself. Don't brag about it. And if you do it, then at least look good in it.
Look, I don't give a shit if you want to identify as a dragon and go around laying magic eggs, but can we agree that the least masculine thing on earth you can do is dress in women's clothes? Tom Clancy would be rolling over in his grave right now if he knew the absolute disaster that Red Storm Entertainment had become. Number 2,
Probably, yeah.
Wolfenstein. So I was recently playing Wolfenstein: The New Order for the first time, which came out in 2014, and I have to say, of all the games I was sure were going to avoid woke Western progressivism, this game was pretty high up there. The first 3 entries of the reboot were all fantastic. They had the badass BJ Blazkowicz, an absolute unit, as the main character, ripping apart entire armies of Nazis with the sexy and smart Anya as his arm candy and wife. Machine Game's first 3 Wolfenstein entries, which came out in 2014, 2015, and 2017, are all great. They have normal men and women doing normal shit in them. Awesome. But of course, the woke mob had to get involved somehow. So you have a beloved series with a beloved, tough, male, manly main character. Do you suppose it's a good idea to kill off that guy and replace him with cringy girl boss characters? Wolfenstein Youngblood came out in 2019, and it's an absolute tone-deaf disaster. So many modern video games, I find myself asking, who wanted this? Who asked for this? I often ask the same thing of the new Star Wars shows by Kathleen Kennedy as well. The Wolfenstein reboot had the perfect synergy of story and gameplay. You are BJ Blazkowicz, unleashing his rage on the Nazis for killing everyone he loved. You see this come across in his brutal assassinations, like sticking a rusty pipe through the eye socket of an SS Waffen commander. But the setup to Wolfenstein Youngblood is incredibly cringe. In it, you play as BJ's daughters, and they're honestly nothing like him. The first time you kill somebody, they don't really want to do it, and when they finally kill the guy, they have to have lattes and talk about it afterwards. Youngblood is a perfect example of how a cutscene can go so wrong in a game. BJ's setup is perfect and explains to you why you're doing the actions you're doing. BJ's daughters, however, are acting like they're in an episode of Big Bang Theory the whole time, but oh yeah, they just happen to be killing Nazis, and haha, isn't this so funny? It's tonally all over the place and just so full of cringy and awful cinema.
Yeah, and that's just not Wolfenstein. It's just, if you want to do that, but don't take freaking Wolfenstein and destroy it. Man, for fuck's sake.
Maddox, which is ironic because the cinematics in the first 3 games were like so good and short, and they got to the point and they were really emotional and impactful. Example number 3, Gears of War. For a full explanation of how the woke mob girl-bossed Gears of War, see my video on that game, but I'll keep this short. The first 3 Gears games are an incredible trilogy focusing on the bonds and brotherhood between men. They are incredibly masculine games, focusing on duty and sacrifice and military orders.
That's true.
And I know some of you hate this, but for 10,000 years, it's only been men fighting wars. Sorry. The first 3 games focus on Marcus, Dom, Cole, and Baird and tell a masculine story of brother.
And by the way, there were outliers, but outliers confirmed the rule. Just because there were outliers doesn't mean that it's always like the same, that we're on the same wave. No. Men died most of the time. If you don't like it, then just get the fuck out. I don't care about feelings. I only care about truth. No, to a certain degree, of course, I care about feelings, because you cannot say that you 100% don't care about feelings, because at the end of the day, yes, you still do. You don't want to harm somebody's feelings for apparently no reason, just because they exist. You can say something eloquent, not necessarily evil. So yeah, but not, I don't care about the feelings of people that actually just pretend being hurt by something. That's what I want to get out of it. Because who cares that I called you a freaking he instead of she, and now you're shitting your pants and are angry about it? Fuck you.
Brotherhood. Well, the progressive woke mob somehow got to Gears of War, and Gears 4 and 5 are about sisterhood, motherhood, being a traitor, and what it feels like to be a woman. They introduced the character of Kate Diaz, who I don't think anybody gives a single fuck about. What they should have done is put Kate in a spin-off game, not a mainline Gears entry. But here's the problem, of course, nobody would have bought it. So unfortunately, Gears 4 and 5 are basically girl boss, feminist Gears of War, and any masculine story about men is put on the back burner. Of course, the games include Baird and Marcus in them, but they're really on the back burner, and Gears is now about Kate Diaz, who I've never talked to a Gears fan even cares about. Moving on, example number 4, the Saints Row reboot. Saints Row spent 10 years building up characters and building up a very distinctive and edgy and male sense of humor.
Yep.
It's the kind of stuff you and the guys would laugh at. Some of the recurring characters in Saints Row are Johnny Gat, Julius, Aisha, Shondi, and several others. In these games...
And by the way, I didn't play Saints Row, I just agreed with him randomly because, well, the guy says the truth a lot of the time, so why not? But at the end of the day, yeah, it's normal. It's normal that those characters get destroyed right now. That's a literally normal thing to happen these days. And it's sad.
The men are men and the women are women. Johnny is edgy and hilarious and always has a hot chick on his arm. The humor is crude and hilarious, and the Saints are always getting into trouble. So what went wrong with the reboot? Well, the woke 2022 reboot thought it was a good idea to kill off every single character from the old Saints Row games, and I guess they thought we would be cool with that. But don't worry, all of the beloved characters you've come to know and love have been replaced with tokenistic characters from a literal seminar on diversity.
Yeah.
You've got the gay Asian...
This is a parody. This is just a straight-out parody of gay characters.
Man, the girl boss lesbian, another girl boss lesbian, and the gay black guy. The LGBTQ mafia didn't just kill Saints Row, they crucified it on a rainbow flag. And this is what you get, guys. This is what you...
Hey, congratulations, everybody lost their jobs and Volitation closed down. Nice. And yes, you might say it's a bit of a bad thing. I'm
for supporting
thinking that,
these
but
people.
no, it's
They
fine.
turn out shitty games.
The moment you actually show some compassion to those people, they will abuse it and just abuse you. So don't. Just stop it. It's done. Compassion is just fully done. You can treat them like a human being, but that's all. That's just all. And even then, because you still have to be better than your enemy, and they won't treat you like a human being. They just won't. They don't see you as all.
Games that aren't funny, that aren't cool, that aren't masculine. So stop hiring these people. Game developers need to stop putting gay stuff in games, and they need to fire every liberal white woman if they want us to ever buy a game again. Because I'm serious, we are done with this shit.
No. If anything, gamers are stupid as fuck. As soon as a good game comes out, nobody will give a fuck and play it again. That's just the truth. So yes, those firms, they aren't dead right now. They can still redeem themselves. It's not a problem. The problem lies in specifically that they are against their customers. They don't give a fuck about you. Of course they don't. And I'm not saying that they are somehow lovingly embracing you. No, that's not what I'm saying. They don't give a fuck about you. But if they are selling shit to you, don't buy their shit. Just avoid it. Don't buy shit, mate. Don't eat shit. And especially if you like eating shit, then eat shit. But don't tell me that I also have to eat shit.
We're not buying these games. Like Phil Spencer is out here complaining about how people aren't spending as much money on games anymore. I guarantee if you give us hetero dudes hot chicks in games again and manly men, you will see sales go through the roof. Bring back the glory days of video games. I have this theory that in a few years, we're going to see a turn back to the golden era of video games, and people are going to start buying games again. I recently saw this crazy chart from 2023 that basically showed that people are only playing old games these days. Nobody wants to play anything that's new out right now because it's all woke and it all sucks.
And for fuck's sake, mate. No, there are good games out there. Let's just say Black Myth Wukong. The fuck? Mates. This is a fresh one. There are good games, but they are rare. That's the problem. People would play instantly the new games. The games that they have fun with. But they have to be good games. That's the problem. But as it is, acolytes, good night.